to David in a minute, but yeah, this is definitely not the map that I created. That's Matomo user group for France. I guess that's the one we did.
Maybe.
So yeah, this is the map I designed through the help of a designer. Is that any who would like to get an answer to their question could land on this given map, go over here and talk to Matomo user group members and get an answer to their questions. So to say agencies, individual, and so on and so forth. And some days in the year, we will organize like big event in which people will have the possibility to gather in this room and get a full conference given by a speaker. And if they dislike the conference, they can in fact decide to leave and go within a small room over here and discuss about other different topics. So that's the main idea. It's already 9:10, and I prefer to respect the schedule, so I will leave the floor to David so that he can continue.
All right. Thanks very much, Ronan. I'll share my screen now. All right. And it should be visible. All right. So let me introduce you to WorkAdventure. Well, Ronan already did a pretty good job at showing what the experience on WorkAdventure look like. I'll do this in basically 4 parts. So we'll be talking a bit about WorkAdventure and why it exists. I'll be talking about how it's an open platform, just like Matomo is. I'll be talking also about how you can build your own map or customize your map. And for the last part, we'll go a bit technical, and I'll be talking about how you can integrate Matomo and WorkAdventure and how you can track what's happening on the map using Matomo. All right. About me, I already introduced myself, so let's get started. So WorkAdventure, you understood, is a platform that you can use to build virtual universes. The whole idea is that we want to reproduce how it feels to be in a physical space, but online and while being remote. What we want to do is to create a sense of belonging. When you are somewhere. I mean, when I ask you when you're online, where are you? There is no answer to that. But where are you? I'm in the kitchen. I'm in the living room. I'm looking at a presentation. We want you to have somehow a location, but online. Why do we want to do this? Well, what we are trying to do is to bring people together, and most of all, we are trying to build more spontaneous interactions. The WorkAdventure is probably not the best tool if you want to do asynchronous work, or if you want to ask a question and have an answer later. For that, you have plenty of other solutions, Element, Matrix, Discord, Teams, whatever. But when it comes to being spontaneous and being able to talk to someone right now, well, this is really what we are targeting. And we want basically for people to feel like if they were together in the same room. So when I introduce it like that, you could tell me, oh, like in the metaverse, and no, definitely not. Well, definitely not. You already understood from the presentation of Ronan, but WorkAdventure is definitely low tech. It's a 2D universe. We have absolutely no plan to go 3D. It works on any kind of device, low-end laptops, tablets, even phones. You can use. Well, the screen is a little is a bit small, but you can use it on a phone, really. And it's about being spontaneous, as I said. So, I mean, taking a virtual reality helmet and putting it on your head to be able to talk to someone, it's not what I call spontaneous. If you want to have a meeting in VR, you have to schedule it in before. Here, it's about starting WorkAdventure at the beginning of the day. And when someone comes to you, you will hear a ding dong, and you will be able to talk to him. Um, One thing that is really important also, it's energy efficient. And what's really interesting in being energy efficient, it's not using a lot of CPU. You can run it on your laptop, and the battery will not die 5 minutes after starting it. I mean, you can really keep WorkAdventure open all day long, and that's not a big issue. You will barely notice. Okay, so what for? Well, if you can bring people together, um, well, you can. The obvious use case is virtual offices. This is basically what I designed it for at the beginning during the COVID pandemic when we were locked at home. This is where the idea came in my mind. And I wanted to see my colleagues and say hello in the morning, not just meet them at regular time, being able to work from my desk and talk to them. But very soon it appeared that it has also great uses for small communities. And if you have meetups, it's a great way. Ronan showed it. Basically, everybody can listen to a speaker, and at the end of the conference, you can form small groups that are going to talk together. So it's pretty cool. It's also pretty useful for bigger events. We've had events up to 1,000 people, I think, and we could maybe go a bit higher. So if you've got a big company with which is on several countries, and you want everybody to gather together without taking the plane and having a huge carbon footprint, it can be a solution. And also, it's been used for some as a marketing platform, quite surprisingly. But yes, we've had a number of clients that are using it to showcase a product and put the users in a universe. So let me make also a demo.
We have some questions in the
Yes,
chat, actually.
go. Yes.
The first one is there a way to be pinged if I'm not within the virtual office and that someone needs me for a GT meeting?
Oh, yes, definitely. Well, I'm going to show you how it works. And the demo will answer. And you know what, guys? What you can actually do is come with me in the demo. We can go on workadventure.re, and here you click the try it button. And you will be, so I already logged, so I'm directly in the map. You will be asked for your name to select a Woka. A Woka is a little character. And you will end up in, this is our virtual office, as you can see. And if I move around, okay, so there is another myself because I'm already connected, but anyway. And if I go next to someone, so you're not maybe hearing the sound of the bubble, but there is a ding dong that you can hear. And as you can see, I'm directly in contact with Greg here. If Hi, Greg. And Ronan can join here. And you see the bubble here? As soon as someone enters the bubble, we are in a video chat. So, hey, Ronan. Okay. And if I can move and go and see Alexi. And as soon as I enter, I'm put in a conversation. Hello, Alexi. All right. And you talked about a GT meeting a few minutes ago. Let me show you. I move. So for instance, on this map here, we have a small table. And if I click space here, I'm actually entering a Jitsi meeting because WorkAdventure is based on the video streams are going through Jitsi. Hello. And so, yes, when you go and see someone in a bubble, basically you can have up to 4 people. And if you want more people, 20, 30, 100, you go in a Jitsi meeting and you have a big meeting. Another thing I want to show you is, okay, I'm going to zoom out a bit. Right. And I'm going to move here. You can use WorkAdventure to integrate with other websites. So here we are showcasing the projects we've been doing. And when I click space, you see it's opening something here. This is actually a web page. And I'm including the web page in WorkAdventure using an iframe. So it means that when you design a map, you can actually plug WorkAdventure to any website. So here, it's a simple presentation website, but you could, for instance, open, other websites like a Google Drive, a Google Doc, and you are working together on a Google Doc while speaking to each other. And then, well, basically, you just have to imagine what you want and integrate it the way you want. All right. So that was for the demo. Oh no, wait. There is still something I need to show you. Here, I have a number of controls. I can lock a bubble if I don't want to be disturbed. So here I'm talking with Renan, and nobody can enter and bother us. There are silent zones if I don't want to be disturbed. What I want to talk to you about is the map editor that is here. Basically, I can edit a part of the map inline by adding new objects. For instance, I can put maybe a plant here, or maybe I can put a desk here. Who knows? I can also design areas like this. And in this area, if I'm entering the area, I can decide that we are going to open a given link like, like matomo.org. And when I move here, the link will open automatically. Actually, let's try it. Oh, okay. Should have been doing the test for. Oh no, it was actually working. No. Okay.
I think it's because Matomo don't handle iframe support.
iframes, absolutely. So your website has to allow iframes. Thanks very much. Okay, so that's it for the presentation. I'll switch back. I'm going to leave here, and I'll switch back to the presentation. So I want to stress out that this is an open platform. When I say open platform, well, it's open by the license. WorkAdventure is released under the AGPL v3 license, modified by the Commons clause. So it's almost open source. The only thing we don't allow is for people to sell subscriptions of WorkAdventure online. Apart from that, you can install it. You can do whatever you want in it. You can modify the code. It's just that our business model is about selling subscriptions to Matomo, to WorkAdventure, sorry. So you can self-host it, or if you don't want to self-host it because it can be a bit tricky, you can also use our software as a service platform. And we provide hosting for one-time events or long-lasting office. And we have a free tier account. So if you want to try it first, the easiest solution is to create a free tier account, and then you can decide when you think it can be useful. You can decide if you want to self-host it or go through the SaaS route. It's not only open by the license. It's actually WorkAdventure design has been from the ground. It's been designed to be open for extension, and for that, well, what I want to show you is how you can build your own map and how this is open. Basically, you have absolutely no restriction about what you are allowed to upload, what images you are allowed to use. You can really use whatever kind of graphics or assets you want to do. And when you do a design, basically, the design is done in two phases. The first phase is to design the structure of your map. I showed you the map editor. The map editor currently only allows you to put objects. It's what I call the IKEA mode. But if you want to design rooms and basically the base map, what you have to do is to go through an external tool that is named Tiled. So it's open source also, you can download it, and you will design the map in Tiled. Then, in WorkAdventure itself, you can customize the map, add objects, and mostly furniture, interactive zones, and stuff like that. You can also do that, everything in Tiled if you prefer. So Tiled, it's basically an external map editor. I'll show you very quickly how it works. And for this, I'm going to load the map that Ronan showed you 10 minutes ago. So you can see that it works just like Photoshop, actually. You have a number of layers here, and you see I can highlight the layers I'm selecting. And if you want to put something, so I'm going on the floor layer, maybe here you have the tiles you can put. So instead of putting pixels like in Photoshop, you are actually putting objects, and maybe here I can decide to put a tree here, for instance, Shazam, and file is going to generate a file, which is a file whose extension is tmj, and next to the file you will have a bunch of images. The idea is that and it's a bit special. You would expect a normal platform. In a normal platform, you would expect to take those files and upload them on WorkAdventure. But it's not actually working like that. Instead, you can host your map anywhere. You don't have to host it on the WorkAdventure server. You can host it on any website. And if you don't have any website, GitHub Pages is actually providing a website for free. So that's cool. And so basically, you design your map in Tiled. If you are going through GitHub Pages, you push your map on GitHub, and GitHub will deploy the map automatically on a web server. And when your visitors come and they are in the browser here, the map will be loaded from wherever it is on the web. And only the customizations, so the location of the objects, is going to be loaded from the WorkAdventure server itself. Talking about maps, one thing that is important, well, a map is a file that is anywhere on any web server. And you can actually link maps together by placing entries and exits. If you want to place an exit from Tiled, you would use a special property, which is called exit URL, and you will link to the the other file that is somewhere else on the web. And this actually, it looks a lot like a link, an hyperlink, in on the web. And actually, if you want someone to arrive at a given location, like I want someone, if someone is walking down the stairs on this map, I want him to appear here. So I can put a special start layer property here and look at the name of this layer. It's called down the stairs. If I look at the URL of the map, if I'm putting hashtag down the stairs, just like on a regular web page, the user is actually going to appear at this place on the map. And this is somehow interesting because on the web, you have web pages that can be on any web server with hypertext links and anchors. And in WorkAdventure, you have JSON maps that can be anywhere on the web with exit and entry layers. And I like to see WorkAdventure as a browser of map and not only a platform, but really as a browser of map. And you can jump from one map to another wherever they are hosted. Now there is something a bit special. We talked about how WorkAdventure looks like a browser, but in a real browser, you have JavaScript. And JavaScript allows you to make your web page dynamic and turn your web page into whatever you want. It's just not static content. And in WorkAdventure, we built something that is a bit similar, and we call it the scripting API. So the scripting API is a way to modify dynamically the map in your browser. So let me show you how it works. On a map, you can provide scripts, and those scripts can be used to do a variety of things like opening or closing doors, like doing escape games if you want. Really, you can code it the way you want. And those scripts are coded in JavaScript. They are running inside the browser, and these scripts are executed in an iframe. So why? Well, we are executing the script in an iframe for security reason. If someone could guide you to any map and execute some JavaScript in the WorkAdventure context, he could actually steal your credentials, stuff like that. So we have to add a security layer, and the JavaScript script we are loading is executed in a very small iframe. So when you arrive on a map, what you don't see is that there is this tiny 1x1 pixel iframe that can contain some dynamic code that is going to be executed. And this iframe is going to communicate with WorkAdventure using what we call the post message API. It's a feature that is native in all browsers. Okay, so what can we do with this regarding Matomo? Well, we could use and take advantage of the scripting API to add some advanced analytics. Let's just imagine you are organizing a large event. You want to do some analytics on the visits. Maybe in your event, there are a number of stands with sponsors. And your sponsors want to know how many people came to see their stand, how many people had a look at their website, how many people talked with a representative of the company. Legitimate data you might want to gather, right? And WorkAdventure does not provide that at all. But Matomo does. It's the job of Matomo, definitely. So how could we integrate Matomo with WorkAdventure? Well, through the scripting API. How does it work? Well, I already told you about the map. So here I've got a directory which contains the Matomo map with here the TMG file. And next to the map, there is a main.ts file that you can edit and modify. And basically, you are going to put some special script here. So here, I did not put the script directly, but I'll show you what it could look like. Basically, the script would look like this. So you are all used to Matomo. You all know this tracking beacon. You put this in a web page. So in our case, you will put it in the TypeScript file, and it's going to be loaded by WorkAdventure. Now, what you could do here, you see the WA object. The WA object is an object provided by WorkAdventure, and this object is containing all the methods that can be used through the scripting API. Here, what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, when you enter the area named sponsor stand 1, execute this piece of code. And what I'm doing is I'm simply pushing a track event and making sure that the event is sent to Matomo. And with this, I'm going to receive to log the event, and I'll be able to do some basic tracking. Now, there is a limit to that, and it's about security again. I told you that the script is executed in an iframe, right? And this iframe is going to be hosted next to your map file. So in a domain name that is not the same domain name as the domain name where WorkAdventure is running. So because we are not running in the same domain, your iframe will be treated like a third-party iframe. So cookies will be third-party cookies. What it means is that basically there is a really big chance that the browser will deny you access to the cookies. I mean, even bigger than usually. So it's going to be really hard to track unique visits or stuff like that, unless we do some additional code, but I leave that out of this presentation because I'm starting to run out of time. But yeah, you get the idea. You will be able to track when someone is entering, leaving a stand, is doing some actions for unique visits and stuff like that. It's going to be a bit more difficult. A bit more about the scripting API. You can do a lot of things. You can read the content of a map. I'll basically skip that, but you can do a huge number of things. We have people that have been coding a Pac-Man in WorkAdventure. We have escape games. So you can really open your mind and, let your mind free and invent stuff. The important thing is that, oh, wait. The documentation is at docs.workadventure.re, and there is a developer documentation here if you want to see how to script maps. If you want to design maps and know how to do it, the documentation is here, and we have a bunch of videos with my face and my terrible English pronunciation. I'm sorry about that. All right. So tomorrow, how are we going to keep working on WorkAdventure? Well, we want to extend the community. We want to make it the ultimate sandbox. And we are really keen of having people surprise us with hacks. I would absolutely love to have someone developing a library, making it easier to integrate Matomo with WorkAdventure. And it's really up to you if you want to design, I don't know, a JavaScript library that does that automatically. That would be super awesome. Yeah, that's it. So thanks a lot for listening to me. Yes, Rona, if you're okay, I think we can jump to questions if there are some. Hey. All right. That's it for me.
Thank you, David. We have plenty of questions in the chat. Well, I say plenty because it's myself who wrote them. So I so yeah. So there was a question from Ronan. I mean, from myself, which was about: is there a way to ping someone if this someone is not available within the virtual office, and someone want to interact with him? So the idea that I had in mind,
yes, okay. This way, okay, now I understand. Okay.
I mean, it's more like for a Matomo user group. Let's imagine, for example, that we would like myself to be within this user group, but without me having WorkAdventure always on my computer, and that I can get ping if someone from the community is entering within the event, within the digital office, and would like me to come back online.
Okay, so right now we don't have that built-in.
Okay.
You have the scripting API, so you can always code a little bit of a script that is actually calling a website somewhere that is going to ping you. And so, for instance, if you want to design a hook that is going to ping you in Slack or Elements, it's kind of easy to do, but you have to code it. In the future, we are planning, so it may start in the coming weeks, an integration with Matrix.
Okay.
So if we do this, basically, in the sidebar, you could see the Matrix users of the room, and you could ping them directly. So basically, you would send a message in Matrix, you can read it in WorkAdventure, and the other way around.
Okay.
It's not completely trivial to do because there is all the authentication to pass, but we are thinking about that really hard right now.
Okay. I have another question which just came to my mind. So you show us the red bubble, which means that, okay, don't bother me. Is there any possibility when we are within this red bubble that we get the information notification that someone is trying to connect with us, even though we are on this red bubble? That's kind of linked with the first question, but I'm trying to find already a workaround with this.
Pretty good question. The answer is also no.
Okay.
But usually it's not an issue. Basically, in my experience, when you are talking to someone on WorkAdventure, you are talking to someone, so you are on WorkAdventure. So if someone is running around you, you see him. It's not just. It's unlikely that you will be on another tab. Usually when you are in a bubble, it's for short-term interactions, like 5-10 minutes. If you want to have a long meeting, you would typically go in the meeting room where you are in a GT. And in a GT, there can be more people. I did not show you, but we also have scripts to open, close doors, decide who can open and close the door based on tags and stuff like that.
Okay.
And sorry, and we have bells. So if you want to have a meeting and close the door and you want to be notified, you can actually put a bell next to the door, and people can ring the bell, and you will hear it.
Because I was thinking it like, hey, for an event, it perfectly suits our expectation, but for a Matomo user group, we definitely need to, let's say, find a way that for each member of the user group, they know that every day when they wake up and start their day, they need to open up a tab in their browser and be in. So that's the main thing.
One thing I did not say, we don't have an application, we have a PWA. So basically from your browser, you can install WorkAdventure and have a link directly on your desktop that you can open every morning. This is what I'm doing actually.
Okay. How many maximum one-to-one Jitsi meeting can happen at the same time on WorkAdventure? Imagine that tomorrow we decided to switch the full Matomo camp on WorkAdventure. 1,000 people, being able to do a one-to-one event, so it means 500 potential one-to-one Jitsi meeting at the same time. Is it possible?
Yes. Well, actually, when you are in a bubble, it's not Jitsi behind the scene.
Okay.
Jitsi is only used when you go in a meeting room, and
Okay.
when you are in a bubble, the communication is done in a peer-to-peer fashion. So it's not even going through a browser,
Okay.
through a server. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's going. Well, I could talk for hours about that, but the thing is, basically, you are not really limited. When you go in a Jitsi meeting, you need to have a big Jitsi server for sure.
Okay.
But in bubbles, it's almost nothing. So it comes for free. You could have with maybe a 4 CPU server, you can host 500 users that are going to make bubbles
Okay. Okay.
the way you want it. No limit.
And dealing with the big event, how many people can attend to a big conference, for example, let's say 200 attendees? Is it possible without any issues on your side?
Yes. What we usually do is up to 100 participants, you can go in a Jitsi, and that's not a big issue.
Okay.
If you go above 100 people, you need to be careful. It's Jitsi. Well, you can use Big Blue Button also. There is a Big Blue Button integration, but even Big Blue Button can have limits. And so what you usually do then is the speakers go into Big Blue Button when they walk on the stage, or in Jitsi when they go on the stage. And from here, you stream to YouTube Live or any RTMP server, and you get the stream of the conference back to the attendees, just like what is happening in Matomo Camp right now, actually.
Okay. One other question is like, is it possible to easily get the visit card of each person that we are interacting with? So, for example, in the map that you show, let's imagine that I was going for David. So we meet each other, and is it easy to get like his X account, his LinkedIn URL profile, his phone number, or any other things like this?
Yes, you just need to click on the user, and there is a view visit card button.
Okay. And one last question, unless there are others from the audience. Will it be possible for you to show us or explain us how easy it will be, for example, to post some job offers on the wall or recruiting for any project? So the idea will be to be able to, as a visitor or even as the administrator of the map, to come on the map, to take a wall and to post on this wall any resources in order to say, hey, I'm currently an agency and I'm looking for a Matomo consultant, and here is my PDF with the offer. And
Well, yes. Shall I try a live demo?
yeah, I think we still have at least 3 minutes left, and then
Oh.
we need to leave the floor to the next speaker.
Okay, I'll try to do it in 3 minutes. The idea would actually be to use a third-party service. So maybe if I had to do it, okay, let me try with Google Docs. Oops, sorry. Docs.google. Oh, Jesus. Drive.google.com. I can create a new Docs document. Here is my list of jobs, for instance. List. I'll make it available to anyone. Like share with anyone who has the link. Oh, wait. Anyone who has a link. Yes. And from here, I'll go back to WorkAdventure. I'll use the inline map editor and say, okay, when you go to this computer here,
Okay.
you can open a link to my Google Doc, and even here I'm going to put a see job list button. Okay, let me try this, and I hope it will not. So if I move next to the computer, oh, okay, wait, I need to reload the page. Usually, that's maybe, and I think it's okay. So now you see it's getting yellow, and I can do see job list and Shazam. Oh, so
Wonderful.
rather than having this in, I think I can use a better link, which is only displaying
A PDF. Yeah, sure.
PDF or something, you know. But it's really just as easy as that. The whole idea is that WorkAdventure does not provide everything, but you can integrate it with a lot of different things.
Awesome. I'm just looking at, so there's no questions left. David, do you have a final word for the attendees?
Oh, no, well, I was really super happy to be here with you today. And yes, I'm really looking forward to the Matomo community. And I would really, really very much to have a great integration between WorkAdventure and Matomo. So if anyone wants to come and talk to me about that, I will be super happy.
Okay. Thank you, David. So just for information, general information, so the Matomo user group for France have been created. We find out a date, so it will be on April the 4th. It's a Thursday. We don't know yet at what time it will be, how long it will be, but we know that it will be on WorkAdventure. So the idea will be to gather all the French community during this event and have either one conference or several conferences. And then thanks to WorkAdventure, people will be able to connect with each other and be able to discuss and see how they can help each other. So keep the date in mind. So there's a LinkedIn group which have been created for this. My idea, of course, is to try to expand this concept. So the idea will be to knock at the door at different other, let's say, countries in order to introduce them the platform, the code of conduct, all of this in order for them to already have all the technological part and to just have to deal with the most important, which is the human part, let's say, to connect with each other. Once more, thank you very much for coming with us, David, and thanks as well to all the attendees to choose us.
Thanks very much for inviting me. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.